Listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal has the power to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. You are standing at the threshold of a secret that has lifted men from mediocrity into the realm of genius. And here's the hook. The very energy you often misunderstand is the same energy that can make you unstoppable. The word transmute simply means to change, to transfer one form of energy into another. And the most powerful energy known to man is the emotion of sex. Now pause for a moment, because what you think you know about this energy is only a fraction of the truth. Most people associate it only with the physical, with desires and impulses that pull them down into indulgence. But the wise man discovers that this energy is not meant to enslave him. It is meant to empower him. Do you realize the same force that tempts men to risk reputation and life can, when redirected, make them creators, leaders, and visionaries? That is the secret of sex transmutation, the switching of thought from physical expression into creative expression. Think of it this way. Every river must find an outlet. If dammed, the water eventually breaks through. The same is true of this energy. If you do not guide it upward, it will find a lower, less worthy escape. And here's the golden hook. Those who learn to channel this energy are the very ones history remembers as geniuses. Consider for a moment what happens when desire for expression grips a man. His imagination sharpens, his courage multiplies, his persistence intensifies, his willpower grows, and his mind begins to create with an energy unknown at other times. This is why men have written great books, painted timeless art, built empires, and amassed fortunes, all under the invisible influence of sex energy redirected. Now let me ask you, do you want to remain bound by mere physical indulgence, or do you want to elevate this power until it lifts you above the crowd? The choice is yours, and the reward is priceless. Let me make it plain. This energy was never meant to be destroyed. It cannot and should not be eliminated. It must be given an outlet, but when that outlet is through creation instead of indulgence, it enriches the body, the mind, and the spirit. Think of the great achievers you admire. Biographies across 2,000 years reveal a striking truth. Men of outstanding success were men of highly developed sexual natures, yet they mastered the art of transmutation. Do you feel the pull of that same force within you? That restless energy, seeking expression? That is the very key to your hidden genius. And here's another hook. If you ignore it, it will drag you down. If you harness it, it will lift you to greatness. The man who learns to transmute this energy rises above mediocrity. He discovers a power that makes him magnetic, compelling, and creative. But let us go deeper, for there are 10 great stimuli that awaken the mind, that raise its vibration to the level of enthusiasm, imagination, and desire. At the top of that list stands the desire for sexual expression. Why? Because no other force is as intense, as persistent, as irresistible. Think of it. Men will gamble fortunes, risk reputations, even face death to satisfy this one urge. Now imagine channeling that same intensity into your ambition, your art, your enterprise. That is why I tell you, sex energy, when transmuted, is the greatest single source of human power. Pause and reflect, my friend. What could you achieve if you redirected your strongest desire into your greatest dream? Let us examine the 10 stimuli. First, the desire for sexual expression. Second, love. Third, the burning desire for fame, power, or financial gain. Fourth, music. Fifth, friendship. Sixth, a mastermind alliance. Seventh, mutual suffering. Eighth, autosuggestion. Ninth, fear. And 10th, intoxicants. Do you see the truth? 8 are constructive, 2 are destructive. But standing above them all, the most powerful is sex desire. Now let me give you a hook that will grip your imagination. Sex transmutation is not suppression. It is transformation. Suppression creates weakness. Transformation creates genius. Observe what happens to an animal after castration. Its fighting spirit vanishes. Its drive disappears. Alter the glands of man or beast, and you remove the major source of action. Now, do you see why this energy is the root of all creativity, the source of all genius? But let us not leave this at theory. You must practice the art. Begin by recognizing the moments when desire rises within you. Do not squander it on mere physical indulgence. Instead, immediately redirect your thoughts toward your work, your vision, your higher purpose. That surge of energy you feel, that restless pulse, it can be the very spark that ignites your next great achievement. And here's a final hook for this part. The world does not reward those who suppress desire, nor those who squander it. The world rewards those who transmute it. So I ask you, are you ready to master the most powerful force within you? For in mastering it, you do not merely control energy, you unlock the door to genius. Let us now go deeper. For the list of 10 stimuli I shared with you is not merely a collection of words, it is a map to your higher potential. And the first and greatest of them, as I told you, is the desire for sexual expression. But here is the hook. What you do with that desire will decide whether you remain ordinary or rise into genius. The second great stimulus is love. Love, when genuine and unselfish, is the purest form of emotion. It refines, it elevates, it harmonizes. When the desire for sexual expression is combined with love, it produces the most powerful force available to mankind. Pause and think. How many men have accomplished the impossible simply because of the love of a woman or the devotion of a cause? That is your second hook. Love turns raw energy into creative genius. The third stimulus is the burning desire for fame, power, or financial gain. Many men scorn this, but let us not deceive ourselves. Ambition, when disciplined, has been the fuel behind empires, inventions, and discoveries. Without that burning desire, no man will willingly endure hardship, risk, or long labor. But with it, mountains are moved. So ask yourself, do you have a desire so strong that it keeps you awake at night? If not, then perhaps your engine has not yet been ignited. Here lies the hook. A burning desire, directed with discipline, is more valuable than talent itself. The fourth stimulus is music. Strange as it may sound, music has lifted armies to courage, inspired poets to beauty, and stirred entire nations to action. It alters vibration. It opens channels of imagination. It awakens the dormant powers of the mind. So I ask you, what music do you allow into your spirit? For the songs you absorb become the thoughts you think. The fifth stimulus is friendship, whether between men or women, or those of the same sex. True friendship binds souls together in loyalty and trust. It gives courage in moments of despair. It multiplies joy and divides sorrow. Hook. A man without true friendship is like a ship without a compass, drifting, wandering, lost. The sixth stimulus is the mastermind alliance. This, my friend, is one of the greatest discoveries of my life. When two or more people come together in harmony of thought, with a definite purpose, they create a third, invisible mind, a mastermind that possesses more power, more intelligence, more vision than any single one of them could alone. Do you see why the wealthiest men, the greatest leaders, have always surrounded themselves with allies who share their vision? Here's your hook. A lone wolf may starve, but a mastermind pack conquers the world. The seventh stimulus is mutual suffering. You may wonder why suffering should inspire, but think of it. History's most powerful movements were born not in comfort, but in persecution. Men who suffered together are bound together by a fire that cannot be extinguished. Look into your own life. Was it not in the moments of greatest struggle that your true strength was revealed? So take this hook. Suffering, when shared, becomes a bond of steel, and out of that bond arises courage and invention. The eighth stimulus is autosuggestion, the ability to influence your own subconscious mind through repeated thought. This is the key to reprogramming your beliefs, reshaping your destiny, and unlocking your potential. Each word you speak to yourself, each thought you allow to linger, is a command to your subconscious. If you keep telling yourself you are weak, you will act weak. But if you affirm strength, if you affirm courage, if you affirm abundance, your subconscious will obey. Here's the hook. You are hypnotizing yourself every day. Choose wisely what suggestions you plant. The ninth stimulus is fear. Now, fear may appear destructive, and often it is. Yet in rare instances, fear becomes a motivator. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of death. All these can shake a man from complacency and drive him into action. But beware, my friend, if not mastered, fear paralyzes more dreams than failure ever will. So here's the truth. Use fear as a whip to drive you forward, never as chains to hold you back. And the 10th stimulus is narcotics and alcohol. Yes, these too can stimulate the mind, but beware, for while they lift one moment, they destroy the next. They rob a man of reason, enslave his will, and in the end leave only ruin. Remember this hook. Artificial stimulation may grant temporary escape, but true genius requires clarity, not intoxication. Now let us compare. 8 of these stimuli are natural and constructive. 2 are destructive. But out of all 10, the greatest, the most persistent, the most irresistible is sexual desire. Why is that so? Because it is the root of life itself, the creative urge without which mankind would cease to exist. But the lesson you must grasp is this. If you allow this desire to dominate only in physical expression, it will master you. If you transmute it, it will serve you. Pause here. Reflect. Which master will you choose? Indulgence or genius? Let us return to the definition of genius. A genius is not a madman with long hair and eccentric habits. A genius is simply a man who has discovered how to raise his thoughts to such a vibration that he can communicate with sources of knowledge unavailable to ordinary minds. Do you want proof? Look back across history. The greatest poets, the greatest inventors, the greatest leaders, each had moments of vision, of inspiration, of brilliance that seemed beyond human reach. That was not accident. That was sex energy transmuted into higher vibration, stimulating the creative imagination. So I tell you again, with all the power in my words, learn this art, and you will discover the hidden genius within you. And here is the final hook for this part. The key to greatness is not in denying your strongest desire, but in directing it toward your highest purpose. Have you ever wondered why some people, with no greater education and no apparent advantage, rise to heights of achievement that astonish the world? The secret lies not in luck, not in chance, but in the controlled use of the mind's highest vibrations. Remember this truth. Every advancement, every invention, every masterpiece of art or empire of wealth has been born from a mind that was stimulated beyond the ordinary. Pause and think. What happens when your mind is stirred by love, by music, or by the burning desire for achievement? The ordinary current of thought is stepped up into a raging river of imagination and determination. It is in these moments that men and women create wonders. This is not theory. This is the very foundation upon which history's greatest achievers have stood. Now let us return to the greatest of all stimuli, the desire for sex expression. When you understand its transmutation, you no longer fear its pull. You embrace it, channel it, and harness it for creation. Have you noticed how many leaders, artists, inventors, and industrial giants have been inspired by the influence of a woman, or the yearning of the heart? This is no accident. It is the natural law in operation. But remember this, the emotion of sex alone is not enough. Left uncontrolled, it becomes destructive. It can ruin lives, reputations, and futures. But transmuted, redirected into art, industry, wealth, or noble service, it becomes genius. The same energy that tempts man to recklessness can, when mastered, lead him to immortality through achievement. And let us not forget the other great stimuli. Music, for instance, has lifted armies into battle, brought nations together, and carried lonely souls out of despair. A song can stir the heart in ways no logic can explain. The wise man uses music to elevate his spirit, to step up his thought vibration into realms of inspiration. Friendship, too, is one of the sacred stimuli. Who has not felt renewed strength when encouraged by a true friend? The bond of fellowship, whether between two men, two women, or the opposite sexes, has often been the bridge over which weary souls passed from failure to triumph. Do not underestimate the wealth hidden in genuine friendship. It has been the lifeline of countless achievers. And then there is the Mastermind Alliance. Alone, the human mind has power, but joined with other minds in harmony, it multiplies that power into something far greater. Consider the mastermind groups of industrial empires, where visionaries united their thoughts, ideas, and courage. They built fortunes not through isolated effort, but through combined intelligence, magnified by alliance. Ask yourself, have you sought out minds with whom you may ally for growth, both spiritual and material? Think too of mutual suffering. History shows that men and women who have endured persecution, hardship, and trial together often develop a bond that forges greatness. Their shared pain becomes fuel, driving them toward causes that reshape the world. If you have suffered, do not despair. It may be the very fire that tempers your spirit for greatness. Even autosuggestion, that quiet but relentless voice within, can stimulate the mind into higher vibration. By telling yourself, persistently, who you are becoming and what you are achieving, you lay down tracks upon which the engine of your destiny will run. Words are not idle. They are forces. They plant seeds in the subconscious, which then bear fruit in action. Yes, there are destructive stimuli, fear, narcotics, and alcohol. These too alter the vibration of thought, but in ways that drag downward rather than lift upward. Fear paralyzes, numbs the will, and blinds the imagination. Narcotics and alcohol cloud the mind, distort reason, and rob men of their creative spark. They are thieves of destiny, offering a counterfeit stimulation that ends only in decay. But remember this above all: the human mind, properly stimulated, is the gateway to genius. Genius is not reserved for the chosen few. It is the result of raising the vibration of thought until the ordinary mind is linked with the infinite intelligence from which all knowledge flows. Consider the words again. Genius is a man who has discovered how to increase the vibrations of thought to the point where he can freely communicate with sources of knowledge not available at ordinary levels. How powerful is that? Imagine connecting to a realm where inspiration flows ceaselessly, where ideas present themselves with clarity, where courage and persistence are natural companions. That is the realm of genius, and it is accessible to you. So I ask you, will you allow your mind to drift in the dull monotony of low vibrations? Or will you rise through love, music, friendship, desire, and above all, through the controlled transmutation of sex emotion, to the higher plane where achievement is born? Every great man, every great woman who ever lived has faced this choice. Those who failed allowed their strongest emotions to enslave them. Those who triumphed learned the secret of direction and control. And now you too stand at the threshold of that same decision. Do not believe that genius is mystery. Do not believe it is beyond your grasp. Genius is energy, controlled and applied. Genius is emotion, transmuted into service. Genius is desire, lifted above the flesh into the realm of spirit. Remember this truth as long as you live. Within you flows the same power that built empires, composed symphonies, painted masterpieces, and discovered new worlds. The question is not whether you possess this power. You do. The question is whether you will master it or allow it to master you. And as you reflect on these truths, let me leave you with this thought. Somewhere within you burns the same flame that lit the minds of history's greatest achievers. It waits only for your decision, your courage, your will to direct it. So I ask you, will you smother that flame, letting it fade into the ashes of wasted years? Or will you fan it into a fire that illuminates your destiny? The choice is yours. But remember, your decision today will not only shape your present, it will echo into the future. Greatness calls to you now. Will you answer?